Fallout New Vegas is an RPG. I know, shocking revelation. Usually these kinds of games involve using your skills to solve problems in unique ways, or having enriching conversations with people. But what if you wanted to skip all that boring stuff and solve things the simple way? Can you beat Honest Hearts if you kill everyone? The rules are quite simple. Anything I see, I kill. This only applies to areas in the Honest Hearts DLC, not the Mojave. Also, I have to kill every named NPC in the DLC that is available to me. Since this DLC has a level recommendation of 10, I'll be using console commands to get myself to that level. To make sure I can't cheese things, I'm going to take a page out of Mitten Squad, evenly distributing my stats and skill points to make the most generic character possible. Tag skills, traits, and perks have no such restrictions. The challenge ends when the DLC's main storyline is over and every named NPC I can access is dead. Now, with all that aside, let's get started. After Doc Mitchell gives me Tylenol for my bullet-induced migraine, I name my character Mur Durlotz, a completely normal name with no hidden meaning whatsoever. I then create the visage of God himself, if God was a sleep paralysis demon addicted to cocaine. Doc Mitchell tells me to walk down to the end of the room, and I disobey him, jumping to the end of the room instead. For my stats, I just put a single point into everything besides charisma and intelligence. Charisma because the boost to talking, bartering, and companions is useless when you have to mow down people on sight, and intelligence because I don't want to get too many skill points. I then give the most psychopathic answers to every question.
Dog. House. Night. Bandit. Light. Mother.
Before tagging my skills, guns, medicine, and repair. They seem like pretty generic yet useful skills that would give me a fair advantage. For my traits, I go with Built to Destroy, since destroying people is all this challenge is about, and Wild Wasteland, since certain NPCs will only spawn with the trait active. I just hope tagging repair is enough to cancel out the condition loss of Built to Destroy. I then start my crime spree immediately by swiping Doc Mitchell's caps and getting lasered in the process. Turning on hardcore mode, I strap on my armored jumpsuit and begin my hike to the Northern Passage, finding the bones of an unfortunate treasure hunter in the process. Nothing much interesting happens in the way. I get jump scared by Neil.
Okay, so the first night is never usually that bad in any of the games, so I'll play through.
Dangerous place, human, especially for your.
Use the Black Mountain shortcut, try to discover as few locations as possible for whatever reason, and arrive at the Northern Passage. I start by removing any experience I've gained so far and giving myself enough to reach level 10, as that's the level recommendation for this DLC. Like I said before, I'll be spreading my points across all skills evenly. For my perks, I go with Tactical Bisexuality for maximum damage, Rapid Reload, Sneering Imperialist, chosen specifically for this DLC, and Finesse. When I enter the cave, I attempt to kill the Happy Trails Caravan Company, but to no avail. It seems they're all either ghosts or have mastered Morrowind combat. In a game where almost every other NPC is killable, this really irks me. Why do I even need these guys to get to Zion Canyon? I'm the one with the map after all. And at the end of the DLC, you can go from the Mojave to Zion on your own just fine. Mini rant aside, I talk with the best NPC in the game.
Something or someone make the mistake of crossing Ricky? I'll fucking dead-eye him, her, or it. In fact, that's my nickname. Dead-eye Ricky. That's my name. Why, once I got jumped by 3 death jaws. But I didn't panic. Because I never panic. What I did was become a storm of death. Shot every one of them monsters pop in the eye. No, you heard me right. Death jaws. They're like death claws, but bigger teeth. Well, I grew up near Dayglow out west, so yeah, I grew a third nut that glows in the dark.
Put away my metal and tribal armor to go below the weight limit, and set off to Zion, our journey narrated by his soon-to-be-dead Masterson. When we arrive, my legs are so tired I can't move. Luckily, they come back to life after a few moments. My first attempt to kill the caravan goes south when Ricky displays his godlike power and I kill myself out of humility. The next few attempts don't go any better. Eventually, I'm able to use a combination of VATS and a shotgun to quickly dispose of the caravan, and Stella's laser rifle to evaporate the attacking tribals. I also find a pair of sunglasses, and while it may not act as the duct tape to Mur's broken soul, it's better than nothing. After a white leg pulls a half-life and makes it sound like a FNAF jump scare, seriously, what the hell is up with my mods? I attempt to kill Follows Chalk and get swiftly erased. And since I forgot to save, I have to do it all over again. The pain chips away at me more and more every day. Eventually, I learn the secret to killing Chalky Boy. Just get him as a companion, and before he has a chance to help you in any way, push him off a cliff. Slice him with a machete a bunch of times until he stops moving.
Long live the king.
After an awkwardly long kill cam on a bear,
Well, we're waiting.
I perform laser head removal surgery on some dogs and turn this mantis into LeBron James.
You are my sunshine.
When I make it to the Eastern Virgin, I give a new meaning to the phrase, beating a dead horse. Fun fact, if you're hostile to the dead horses, two bears high-fiving will be instantly hostile as well, and skip his unique animation. This is the reason I picked Wild Wasteland, as he only appears with that trait selected. The disciples inside Angel Cave are quite tough due to their hard-hitting 45 auto pistols, war clubs, and relatively high health. What ends up working is taking a bunch of consumables, knocking the guns out of their hands, and clubbing them to death like a pair of seals.
No!
Now it's time for what you've all probably been waiting for, the Christian mummy. As you'd expect, it takes more than a few attempts. Eventually, I get a sneak critical with a hunting rifle that seems to fully deplete his health somehow, with a second and third shot sending his ass to heaven. Now that the Burn Man has become the, Shot Man, I take his clothes and pistol, becoming him. With 6 luck, finesse, and the crit chance bonus of Josh's armor, Al Cid is a pretty solid weapon. I also take a bunch of his 45 autos so I can repair it down the line. After this dead horse uses the unconventional strategy of fusing with her tent, the Eastern Virgin gets cleared out and I set off to do the same to the Narrows. On the way, I come across the battle between some dead horses and white legs. I first soften them up with 45 auto, then lay down the pain with my hunting rifle. 2 shots from my grenade rifle and a smackdown with my club are enough to finish them off. After wrecking a mole rat family and repairing some things, I mag dump a scorpion to death, get turned into the Drowned Man by TKS Mantis, and get my sweet revenge with some frag mines and a shotgun. A little later, I rub some salt into the wounds of a few white legs and get a cowboy repeater, which has good range, decent damage, and alright fire rate and accuracy. Basically, a nice middle-of-the-road weapon to use at longer ranges. Some gecko clubbing leads to me finding a bunch of 8 items, a spare repeater for repairs, and some ammo for the thing. Ammo I'm gonna need as I've got some Cazadors to squish. The first one jabs me pretty good, but a mix of VATS and hip firing takes it out. For the second one, I just cripple its wings and put it down as it crawls into a rock. 1 dose of anti-venom and a nutritious salad later, I turn a white leg's head into confetti, show more of them the power of the sun, which ends up in another awkward VATS sequence. and somehow make this dead horse fall forward off a cliff with Alcid's reverse recoil. After another mantis goes splat, I level up, evenly distributing my skill points once again. The first 2 tribals I meet I lay the paint on with my hunting rifle and cowboy repeater, finishing the job with my 10mm SMG. I then heal from my bullet wounds Badlands Chug style. Waking Cloud and Daniel are considerably tougher, mostly due to Waking Cloud being a companion and Daniel having a 45 auto SMG that tears through me like hot butter through a knife. Explosives on my shotgun don't work, so I pull out my own 45 auto SMG and give Daniel a migraine. I then turn Waking Cloud into Sleeping Cloud and chase this man around with a stick until he falls over. Attacking enemies that use throwing weapons from a long distance can really mess up their AI, as demonstrated by this guy who shimmies back and forth as I take pot shots at him. My best guess is that since they have a ranged weapon, they believe they can attack me from any range, and as such, keep their distance as if they were pelting me with bullets. Anyways, I return Daniel and Waking Cloud to their sacred river or whatever, become Daniel as I did Joshua, drink my problems away, kill a surrendering sorrow because I don't take prisoners, and cook Whitebird's thighs like a roast duck. I then get the map to leave Zion and... oh, that's it. That's the end of the DLC. And the end of this guy who didn't feel like fighting back for some reason. Yep, now that Chalk, Graham, Danny, Cloud, and Bird are gone, there's nothing left to do here except leave. I do check on the burial mounds to try and see Dancing Flame, but he only shows up during a certain quest, so I don't have much luck. All I really see is this sheep stuck in a rock, and I see it really close. I take one last look at the valley I left in ruin, exit through the northern passage, and beat honest hearts by killing everyone.
And so it was that the conflict between the New Canaanites and the Whitelegs was finally resolved. The courier's involvement had tipped the scale, shifting the fragile balance of power.
With Daniel dead, the Whitelegs soon overran Zion and drove the Sorrows and dead horses from the valley. The Whitelegs plundered all of the pre-war buildings the Sorrows had marked off-limits. Their squalor an affront to Zion's natural beauty. By year's end, little trace remained that the Sorrows had ever made the valley their home.
Having revered Joshua Graham as a living legend for so many years, the dead horses found it difficult to accept his death. New Canaanite missionaries sought to remain in contact with the tribe, but lacking Joshua's authority, their influence dwindled. Still, as an expression of enduring respect for their lost spiritual leader, the dead horses helped protect the lands where New Canaanites settled. As generations passed, the dead horses came to worship a spirit of the land, a harsh spirit of divine justice. They called it Joshua.
Already weakened by several seasons of bad trading, the Happy Trails Caravan Company was devastated by the failure of its expedition. The New Canaanites never re-established ties with the caravan. Their experiences with outsiders near the Great Salt Lake and in Zion had been far too negative. Within 6 months, the Happy Trails Caravan Company was bankrupted and dissolved.
After a long and troubled life, Joshua Graham finally found rest in Zion. In the end, his unswerving militancy had accomplished what the NCR's finest sharpshooters and Caesar's wrath could not. The New Canaanites took comfort in the belief that their brother's soul would again dwell in Zion at the end of days.
In the shadow of Daniel's death, those Sorrows who survived the assault on Zion Valley mourned his loss, as was their custom. Word of Daniel's passing reached the New Canaanites several weeks later. They prayed that their brother would be well received by their Lord.
And with that, the courier walked out of the history of the tribes of Zion and back to the gathering storm of the Mojave Wasteland.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy the video, leave a dislike and give constructive criticism so I can improve. Consider subscribing and turning notifications on. It's free and makes videos like this one possible. Also, leave your ideas for new challenges down below. I do read them and they may become an official video. Join my Discord server, check out my Reddit page, or if you're thirsty for more content, check out my second channel, The Loophole. This is Causal Loop, signing off. Peace.